so privileged and honored to have Tzvika Mor today as our speaker. I will introduce him for 30 seconds and then the floor will be his. So Tzvika Mor's son, Eitan, was kidnapped on October 7th from the Nova Festival. He displayed incredible bravery going back and forth. Eitan will explain that he saved several people that day. And he has been in Gaza since October 7th. Tzvika founded Forum Tikvah, which offers a different perspective on the war and the hostage issue. And again, we're so privileged to have Tzvika, and thank you for coming.
Thank you. Good morning. So, opportunity to practice my English, and so if it will be difficult for me in some words, so you will help me, okay? So I'm Tzvika, the father of Eitan. We're living in Kiryat Arba for 26 years since we got married. And we're parents of 8 kids, 4 boys and 4 girls. Eitan, good morning. Eitan is our eldest son, and right now we don't know if Eitan is alive. The last life sign was 4 months ago, and since then the intelligence don't have any information about him. So this is the situation. We hope that Eitan is alive, of course. We're praying, and we trust Eitan. Eitan is a really tough guy. You see, a really tough guy. So on October 7th, we didn't know that something happened here in Israel because there are no sirens in Kiryat Arba, because the Arabs from Gaza don't shoot to Hebron. So we were in shul, and only on 4 o'clock afternoon I got a phone call from my brother, lives in Rishon LeZion. And I thought that it's my nephew that's playing with his father's cell phone. So I didn't get the call. And just in Motzei Shabbat, let's say 1 hour after Motzei Shabbat, I realized that something terrible happened in the south. And Eitan was there. I'm a gabbai in our shul, so I was staying in the shul to clean after Simchat Torah. So it took to me more than 1 hour to come back home and hear from my wife that what happened, and Eitan is missing. Eitan was missing for 10 days. 10 days, nobody could tell us what about him. And after 10 days, the intelligence came and told us that Eitan is in Gaza, for sure. But they don't know if Eitan is alive. Just after 3 weeks, they told us that Eitan is alive. And we got some life signs from him, and as I said before, the last was 4 months ago, on March, when was the deal. Eitan was living here in Jerusalem after he finished the army, so he rent a small flat here in near Machne Yehuda, and Eitan is a big heart, okay? Eitan was a security guard at the Nova Festival and saved dozens of people before he was kidnapped. Eitan was kidnapped by civilians, no terrorists. They took him, civilians, with knife. And Eitan was kidnapped at 12:30 at noon. And the last thing that we know that Eitan did before he was kidnapped, Eitan found two bodies of two girls that were raped and murdered. And Eitan took one of them and buried it in a pit. He found a pit, he buried it, and returned to take the other body, and terrorists shoot him. So he was lying on the ground and went back to the group about 30 survivors from the Nova that Eitan took from the Nova, from the garbage. They were in the garbage under burned cars and in the bushes, and Eitan took them and they started to run from this area. And when they took Eitan, some of them murdered, some ran away. And Eitan, we know for sure that Eitan came to Gaza, Shalem. Yes, it was okay. It was okay. Toda Hashem. They took him by car. They took him by car, and they saved him from the civilians. Because you know that some of our hostages were killed in the Gaza street by civilians. Okay, so Eitan, we know for sure from one of the hostages that came back on November 23. He was with Eitan 3 days in a tunnel, and he told us his name is Ron Kriboy. He was released because of Putin, and he told us that he was about 50 days in houses, and then they took him to a tunnel, and suddenly Eitan came to him and gave him a hug and הרגיע אותו. Calm him down, and Eitan told him that he has a shlichut here, and when the shlichut will finish, he will come back home. That's what Eitan told about himself. There is a manager to our world, and this is my shlichut now, to be here with you. There were 5 guys there. They received 1 pita and 1 basar mishumar.
Like preserved meat. Yeah.
Yes, to 5 guys each day. Only 1 pita and this jar. And Ron is only Ron saw him. Okay, nobody saw him. Nobody of the hostages that came back saw Eitan. One of them was told by one of the terrorists that Eitan is very funny guy. So we asked ourselves, me and my wife, what is our shlichut here? We are trying to live our lives from a point view of shlichut. So what is our shlichut now, when our son is in captivity? And we understood that now we have the disaster, but it can be a big disaster if the Israeli government will surrender to Hamas. And we told the Prime Minister Netanyahu several times that we want our son back, of course, but we ask you to release him by make sure that Eitan will be the last hostage in the Jewish history. And I think that there is only one way to do it. So I don't want to talk politics, okay? I want to talk values and principles about hostages and war with hostages. And we have our Bible, we have our halacha books, and so we can learn what is written here and understand what we have to think and what we have to do. But let's start with some history view. I was born on 76. And my parents told me that on the 70s there were a lot of hostages cases and airplane hijacks and all this stuff. You all familiar with the Entebbe and Savoy Hotel? Do you know Savoy Hotel? So some terrorists came from the sea, ran in Tel Aviv streets, and get into Hotel Savoy and took 10 hostages, and the Israeli government sent Sayeret Matkal to release them. Two fighters were killed in action, and seven from 10 of the hostages were killed. And there were the massacre in Ma'alot, the kids, 21 kids and 3 teachers were murdered there by terrorists. Sayeret Matkal tried to release them, but it failed. And a Sabena airplane, Netanyahu was one of the fighters then there in Sayeret Matkal. One of the hostages, one woman were killed, the gun shooting with the terrorists. But it was very clearly to all the Western world, and especially Israel, that we are not allowed to surrender to the terrorists. And if we talk with them, it's only to earn time until the IDF or special units are coming and trying to release. The first time that the Israeli government surrendered to the terrorists was in 1979. The terrorist kidnapped a soldier. His name is Avraham Amram, Zichrono Livracha, and Israel paid 76 terrorists to release them. And in 1970, the same terror organization kidnapped an old guy from Metula. Metula, his name is Shmuel Rosenwasser, Zichrono Livracha, and Israel told to the terrorist, we are ready to pay one terrorist for our man, and you can choose. And when you're ready, told us, and that's what happened. We paid only one terrorist for Shmuel Rosenwasser. So when the Israeli government was very clearly and stand on the red line, on its red line, it was very easy and very fast. After that, the first Lebanon War, June 1982, 6 of our soldiers were kidnapped in Sultan Yaakov. 2 of them came back, Tzvi Feldman and Zcharia Baumel. 3 months later, September 1982, more 8 soldiers were kidnapped by the terrorists. And as you know, on 1985, it was Jibril deal, the second Jibril deal. Israel paid 1,151 terrorists for 3 soldiers. So it was on 1971 for 1, in 1979 1 for 76, and in 1982 1 for 350. Okay. Two of the terrorists that were released were Jibril Rajub, that is still here, unfortunately, and Ahmad Yassin. Ahmad Yassin released from the jail and established the Hamas, and two years later, it was the first Intifada, 1987. In this Intifada, 164 Israeli were killed by terrorists and hundreds were injured. That caused the Oslo agreement, and then they received guns and all this stuff. And in 2000, it was the second Intifada, and we got out from Lebanon. And the second Intifada, 1,053 Israeli were killed and thousands were injured. Okay. After that, it was Eitnatkut, okay, 2005, and Shalit deal. Okay. On Shalit deal, Eitan was 11 years old, and we were traveling in Ramat HaGolan. That was something we're used to do every Sukkot. We have a family in Ramat HaGolan, so we are there, and we heard that Gilad is going to be released. So the phones were terrible in these days, and so we thought that we'll come to Katzerin, and we will find pizza or something like that with a screen, with television. And I can remember right now that I'm standing, looking on Gilad Shalit when he was released, and Eitan stand next to me, and I explain Eitan what's going on. And we didn't realize that we are going to pay for this deal. Look, we could kill Sinwar, Okay, we had 12 years to kill him, but it's not the point. The point is that the Israeli government told all our neighbors that Israel will pay everything for its hostages. That's the point. And I think that we have to stop it. Okay? We have kids, we have grandkids, and we are staying here in Israel. So we have to stop it. And there is a way to stop it and release our hostages. I don't say, of course, I want my son back. Okay? I don't want my son to stay there. I just, look, Hamas didn't admit that he is holding Eitan. We're saying that Eitan is there in the tunnels, but Hamas didn't say a word about it. And Hamas didn't provide a list. From day one, they didn't provide a list. So the meaning is that Hamas can tell the Israeli government that he has only 15 hostages. What about the others? I don't know. You're bombing. They disappeared. We don't know. Okay, and then after 5, 7, 10 years, Hamas will remind, okay, that he has another 2 hostages, and we will say, do you want to negotiate about your people? So I think that it's not only the bitachon, the security of the next generation. I think that we don't have a choice. We don't have any choice. If we want all the hostages, we have to press Hamas. Okay? Now, we just read on Shabbat, on the last Shabbat, about the war between Israel and a Knaani. It's only three psukim. אוקיי, אני קורא את זה בעברית. כן, בסדר? זה כבר מוגזם. וישמע כנעני מלך ערד יושב הנגב, כי בא ישראל דרך האתרים, וילחם בישראל, ואיש ממנו שבי. אוקיי? A pasuk before that story, that Aaron was died, and now we're missing 2 things. Aaron was the person who were doing shalom between us, and ananei kavod. Okay, the water was b'zchut Miriam, and ananei kavod b'zchut Aaron. And that's what the king of Arad heard, that Aaron is dead, there is no ananei kavod, now it's the time to attack Israel. So he's coming and fight Israel and took hostage. So a Torah, it's not written here who was the hostage, how many hostages were. Okay, so it means that a Torah wants us to ignore, okay, to ignore the personality of the hostages. Okay. וידל ישראל נדר לאדוני ויאמר. we said that Aaron was died, but the spirit of Aaron is still in Israel. וידר ישראל זה לשון יחיד, אוקיי? זה היה אמור להיות וידרו ישראל. וידר ישראל זה לשון יחיד, זאת אומרת שכולנו ביחד. אם נתון תיתן את העם הזה בידי, אם ננצח, והחרמתי את עריהם. זאת אומרת שכל הרכוש הולך, all the property, will go to the משכן, not to us, okay? We don't want to earn anything from this war. We just want to save. To save who? Let's see, okay? The last pasuk, וישמע אדוני בקול ישראל. הביטוי הזה כתוב, written only one time in the Bible. וישמע אדוני בקול ישראל. ויתן את הכנעני, ניצחו אותם, ויחרם את אם ואת עריהם. Israel took all the property of the כנעני, ויקרא שם המקום חורמה. But it's not written, what about the hostage? Okay? So Chazal told us that the hostage is only one shifcha. How do you say shifcha?
Maid servant.
Okay. It's only one shifcha. Okay? Now, let's ask. They took one shifcha. It's terrible, of course. But now you want your army, okay, to clash with the Knaani army. You will have hundreds of killed soldiers. Okay? So why did they come another time to fight the Knaani? And the answer, I think, that they didn't fight for the Shifcha. They were fighting for Klal Yisrael. Even today, look, I had a terrible occasion. I went to Shiva call of Chayal, okay? And the grandpa of this Chayal was crying, and he asked the people, how many soldiers will be killed for the hostages? And he didn't notice that I'm sitting next to him. No, but I'm okay. I'm okay, but it was very embarrassing, okay? So then suddenly the family saw me, and they asked me to speak. So I read this parasha, and I told them that now we are not fighting only for the hostages. We are fighting for Klal Yisrael, for the next generation. Because if we are fighting for the hostages, look, in this operation, Merkavot Gidon, okay, we lost more than 35 soldiers, okay? And we have 20 hostages alive, okay? So we are not fighting for the hostages, only for the hostages. We are fighting for the next generation, okay? We cannot allow to these neighbors to stay next to us. I think that this is the reason that the Torah, is hiding the personality of the hostage, and the Torah didn't tell us in the end of this parasha what happened with the hostage, because the Torah educates us to, when you have a war with hostages, you have to be focused on the war, on destroy your enemy. a Ramban here, a Ramban is writing, and that of course that they release the Shifcha, of course, but the Torah didn't write it. And why that? Because if you want all your hostages, you have to be quiet about them. And it's the opposite from what is going on here in Israel right now. Okay? All the states with the yellow ribbon and yellow flags and shlatim. And posters. Okay? We are saying every day, every moment that the hostages, we want them, and what will happen, and it's very difficult for us. And what about them? Okay, when you negotiating, okay, you have to be quiet. You don't have to. You are not allowed to be interested, okay, in the thing that you want to buy. If you go to buy a house, okay, so you have to stay very calm, okay, and you have to say, I don't know, let me think, let's talk tomorrow. I'm going to see another two houses, okay? And here we're not stopping to say how much we want the hostages. Of course we want them, of course. But it's not a good idea to tell our enemies that we want our people. Okay? I told to Netanyahu that it was a mistake to put the release of the hostages as the objective to the war, okay? Because we're telling the enemy that we really want them, and it's a mistake. We have to put only one goal, right? Only one goal to this war, because right now Hamas has only one question: if to come to the negotiation table, okay? Only one question. But and I think that if Hamas was under danger of destroy, okay, because I think that my son would come back earlier, and I think that we don't have to negotiate with them. We have to convince them to talk with us, okay? And out that to put matzor, siege, okay? To put a siege, okay? And right now, unfortunately, okay, Israel didn't do it, okay? I think that if in Shalit, in Gilad Shalit, if right after the Shalit kidnapping, if the Israeli government put a siege on Gaza, no food, no water, no electricity, no medicines, nothing, I think that Gilad came back after 10 days, okay? Because they were 30. So I think that this is the best way to get all our people. Ron Dermer told us that Hamas is about to negotiate with Israel for 10 years. For 10 years. And look, Avera Mengistu and Hisham Sayed was in captivity 10 years. Okay, so Hamas realized that they can do it. Okay, so I think that we don't have any other choice and to get all our people, and of course we want to give a good Yerusha
Inheritance.
to our kids. Okay, we are living in Kiryat Arba, and we are in Kiryat Arba. We are under danger. Okay, every day that thousands of Arabs from Hebron start to run into Kiryat Arba. Okay, so I think that this war, this war has to end. That our neighbors, okay, and will know that if you are going to do the Israeli what you did, okay, you will lose your area, okay, if we want to stay. Okay, questions?
I
Yes.
have questions about the civilians. You said that civilians were the ones who
Who took
kidnapped.
Eitan? Who kidnapped Eitan?
Do you
yes.
know if those civilians are just living their lives now in Gaza regularly, or people know who they are? Like, were any civilians
Yeah.
afterwards punished?
Yes.
That's the only of us, they were at the Nova Festival.
Yeah, the civilians entered that day.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
What does it mean, they look different, like they?
They weren't Hamas terrorists.
Most
Yeah.
of them were
They were
killed
civilians.
by IDF. Okay, the intelligence
Like what is it?
knows who they are, and I think that I know for sure that the driver of the car were killed. Okay. Yes.
I saw in newspaper, wherever, that, and there's some Palestinians in Hebron that now want to go to the Abraham Accords,
Yes.
which I hope that's a positive step.
Yes, of course. Yes. The family, it's a huge family, the thousands,
Right.
okay?
Yeah.
Named Jabari. Yes.
Oh, it's just one family? I thought there were a few families that,
Yes, but the main
okay.
The main,
yeah,
Hamula, the main Hamula is Jabari.
okay,
Yes, and Jabari are friends. We're friends.
okay,
Yes, before Hebron agreement in 1997. Okay. There was a market in Hebron, so we went to the market and we bought vegetables and
Yeah.
fruits. Okay, 20 shekels, 20 shekels,
Yeah.
and for whatever you want. And the Jews in Hebron knows where to buy, because they are a grand children
yeah,
of Arabs that saved Jews in 1929. Yes. And after Hebron agreement, okay, the terror raised in Hebron, and since then we're not allowed to go to the market, and they lose.
mm-hmm,
Yes, they lose. Even now, after October 7, okay, they lose. Look, we the garage, okay, garage for our cars. It was in Hebron near Kiryat Arba,
mm-hmm,
okay, right near Kiryat Arba. Now, after October 7, it all closed.
Yeah.
Yes. Furnitures, okay,
Look,
anything.
I live in a frat, so,
Yes,
you know, it's.
you know that.
Yeah.
You know that. Yes, so I think it's a very good thing to, because I think that the PLO, Rashut, it's very bad for Israel, and they have thousands of guns, and it's a danger, not only for Kiryat Arba and Efrat, but for Kfar Saba.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that it will start a process of פירוק של ה-PLO.
Breaking it up.
Yes.
So a siege on Gaza, in theory, to force them to surrender and to give up the hostages is a fabulous idea. But in practice, how do we implement it? We need some cooperation from the rest of the world, especially the US. And what's going on now on TV, social media, we're already being branded as killers, murderers, genocide, whatever. Can you imagine what would happen if there were an actual siege and we cut off medical supplies, electricity, and everything? You know, so we need the US, we need their cooperation. You saw what happened in Iran. Jewish communities are being punished for the genocide in Israel. Like, how would this really happen in practice?
Yeah, so we have a solution, okay? We have to separate the population from the Hamas, okay? All the women and the kids and the elders, okay? And to open a humanitarian area in the south of Gaza, near Rafiah, Khan Yunis, and who will choose to stay in Gaza and the Machanot HaMerkaz, the central camps, okay? It means that he is a terrorist, okay? So, okay, there will be a food and water and clothes and everything for the population, okay?
It's not, the Hamas is not an army. They don't wear uniforms and say, "Hi, we're Hamas." They are embedded in the population. What's to keep a bunch of Hamas warriors?
No. There is, I don't know how to say it in English, but there is nakazim. It means that there is cameras, spatial cameras of the intelligence, okay, and they are going through these cameras, okay, and they cannot, okay, Israel knows, okay, Israel know, okay, who is terrorist and who is no, okay, so there is no way that terrorists will come to the south, okay, no way.
Except with tunnels.
Huh?
No,
No, except with tunnels, yes.
So how do you, so
Yes.
really you cannot control that. And also, like, recently we've seen that whenever Israel organized, like, humanitarian, not operations, but, gave out away food and water and whatever, Hamas sees that from the population, meaning it's very hard to control.
Yes, now when Hamas and the population are together, as Hamas is stealing all these trucks. But if you will take, okay, all the population to the south, okay, so yes, maybe terrorists will come from the tunnels, yes, maybe, okay, but you will have a control, okay, when all the population will be in the south, okay, because most of the hostages, I think maybe all of them are in the city of Gaza.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, because Gaza is the city of all the Gaza Strip. And in Gaza, there's very good tunnels, okay, that you can stay there for years.
So I have two other questions. Number one, you're saying to separate the civilians from the terrorists, but in light of October 7th, where civilians actually became terrorists, how do you distinguish the two? And then my other question for you is,
Okay,
yes.
Yes, minute. Look, I think that they all want to to kill us. Okay, they're saying that, and they did us, and
Right.
they did it. Okay, so now we have to destroy Hamas. Okay, about the families, the women and the kids. Okay, Trump said that he wants to export them. Okay.
No one wants them.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so, because Trump is going to pay. Okay. Okay.
So,
Yes.
And then my other question is, how do you explain that Israel managed to kill Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran, in the IRGC, literally like compound, and the army is not able to locate the hostages and bring them back with operations? How do you explain that?
Yes. Yeah, it's not the same. Okay, it's not the same because look, all the rescue operations were from houses. Okay, Ori Megidish,
Yeah.
the first one, Fernando Veluiz. Okay,
Yeah.
the two guys,
Yeah.
and Arnon operation
Yeah.
was from houses.
Okay.
It wasn't from tunnels. Okay, to get into tunnels and to shoot first the terrorist before the terrorist shoot the hostage, it's very, very complicated.
Uh-huh.
Yes. So.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I've been told that it will take a couple of years to destroy the tunnels. So how do we handle that? How do we make peace and then we still need to be destroying tunnels?
Right now. So no. Look. First of all, we want Hamas to surrender to Israel. Okay.
Right?
To surrender, to give us our people and go out to Qatar, to Tunis, to Turkey. Okay. And I think that there is no way to do that unless we'll put a siege. Okay. A siege after we evacuated the population. Okay. And then we will stay. Look, the Torah. Okay, Dvarim Perek Yud Aleph. Okay, the Torah is telling us to put a siege because you're not putting your soldiers in a danger before you
Weaken.
yes, yeah, you have your enemy to be exhausted. Okay, and that's the purpose of the siege.
Do we know how much food they have in their tunnels? How much
They have a
food?
lot of food. Yes, they have a lot of food, but
Which means this is even if we
Yes,
separate
but-
them, it would take a lot.
yes, but the point is the fuel. Okay, without fuel, they cannot breathe in the tunnels. Okay, so look, you can eat small meals for years, but you have to breathe.
Right.
Okay, so this is the point. Okay. Yes.
First of all, I just want to thank you because it's crazy to think we're almost at 2 years, but my own children, my own sons, in particular my teenage sons, have been very deeply impacted by your leadership and your speaking up. And I think you, Hashem, have influenced the next generation. And I daven that your tefillah, but it's not just tefillah, you're doing the action to say that your son will be the last chatuf, and I daven he should come home today. And I also thank you for what you're doing for the next generation and changing minds. I think that's one of my questions. In other words, you present and you did just a little snippet of from Bamidbar, which so clearly reflects that the laws of Pidyon Shvuyim are different in the context of war than they are in the context of the rest of Jewish history. And there's a whole other side, which is taking other sources and kind of, because we've been for thousands of years not in the context of having Jewish power, we've been in the context of Galut, where we haven't had sovereignty, and so we're kind of used to the Mekorot, which reflect the idea of like at all costs, we do anything. And I'm curious how we bridge minds. Like one of the issues that interests me most is not, is how to get out of the echo chamber, right? I'm in your echo chamber. I'm in your echo chamber, but how do we bridge? How do we say to the other side of things, like, how do they not understand the extent to which they are hurting the cause, and how do we create a dialogue in which people can hear each other and understand the other side, but also, I guess I'm also saying and understand that you're correct, but
Talking about the ones who want to deal.
Who want to deal at all costs,
Look.
that doesn't matter.
Look,
how did it become
Did
the
you-
dominant
I
thing
don't
was
look
let
for-
my people let them go as opposed to not
No, bring
sorry
them home.
bring them home
Bring
as
them
opposed to
home.
let them go.
Can I just
Right.
add,
Yes.
can I just add to this, like, did you try a dialogue with the left?
yes, of course.
Okay, and what was
Yes,
their
of course. Look,
response?
I'm not looking for people to talk with, people that don't want to talk with me.
Right.
Don't want to hear what I have to say.
Mhm.
Okay, so first of all, Pidyon Shvuim, let's say like that. Since the Israeli state was established, we don't have mitzvat Pidyon Shvuim, we have mitzvat Shichrur Shvuim. Okay? Pidyon meaning to pay. Okay? Goyim kidnapped Jews for money. Hamas don't want our money. He don't need our money. Okay? He have a lot. He can pay us. Okay? So since the Israeli state was established, we returned to the Bible, to the light of the Bible. And here Avraham Avinu, okay, with Lot, okay, made a war with the four north kings. Okay, let's understand that Avraham was in danger. Okay, in danger, and Shimon ולוי and Dinah and David המלך בצקלג, זה שמואל א' פרק ל', and in a war there is you don't have to you are not allowed, okay, to empower your enemy. Okay, you have to do the opposite. You don't have to pay him and to give him hope that he will stay. But I think that there is, look, on the Tel Aviv Forum, okay, we are Tikvah Forum is a part of the family of the families. The reason that we had to establish Tikvah Forum because they didn't let us to say what we want to say, okay, and I met I would say Mankal. CEO, yes. So it was, yes, there were three managers to the families forum, and I told them that we're not in Shalit deal. It's not one family. There's a huge of families, and there are the differences between the families and different approaches. So we just want our part, okay? We're 7 families. We want our part, okay? Just give us our part, okay? Jews from all over the world donated to this forum. Please give us just our part. It's a small part, okay? But they refused. So I think that there's politics on this forum, but let's stay in the values. Look, you see this sika, okay? Pin, yes. You see that. See? It's not
blue,
yellow.
white, yeah.
Yes, it's blue white. Okay, is our flag. And the meaning is that the Israeli nation now and the next generation are important. It means that we are together. אני אגיד את זה בעברית, יותר קל לי, טוב? תראו, אם מישהי לא מבינה שתגיד לי, טוב?
כן.
בסדר?
אז נתרגם אחרי.
כן, נתרגם.
תראו, אני אגיד לכם. המזגן הפסיק לעבוד? זה הדבר הכי חשוב כאן עכשיו. לא משנה, בסדר. לא משנה. אני רוצה להסביר משהו עקרוני. ברגע שאתה במלחמה ומקימים מטה שהמטרה שלו זה רק החטופים, והוא רואה רק את החטופים, הוא פוגע במדינה. כי אי אפשר לראות את החטופים בנפרד. החטופים זה לא בנפרד.
We can't separate the cause of the hostages
and
from
זה
the
לא,
war.
כן, זה לא 250 ישראלים שנתקעו בטיול בנפאל, שאז זה עניין של המשפחות עם משרד החוץ. כאן זה עניין של כולם. המילה שלי לא יותר חשובה מהמילה שלכם. כי בסוף, מי משלם פה את המחיר על זה שהמלחמה נעשית בצורה הזאת, ועל זה שמשחררים רוצחים? מי משלם את המחיר? האזרחים.
And we're all in this together, we're all paying the prices for it, and therefore everybody's voice is important, just as important.
כן, ולכן צריך לשחרר את החטופים מתוך מבט לאומי. והקמפיין בא לעשות, זה נקרא בשפה המקצועית, ראיית מנהרה. אוקיי? ראיית מנהרה, שכולנו נעסוק רק בחטופים. כן. אני אספר לכם סיפור רגע. התקשרה אליי אישה שגרה באחד היישובים בבנימין.
There's a story, just in English.
כן. In English?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got a call from a woman from Binyamin, and she told me that with her friends they did a frashat chala, and they cooked things and went to the ostriches square to give it to the families. Okay, so I asked her, did you think to do the same thing to the orphans and the almanot, the widows and the orphans, and all over the country? Look, we are living in Kiryat Arba. Okay, we have a Beit Knesset, we have a community, okay, but there are a lot of people that don't have a Beit Knesset, shul, and community, and they are alone, okay. And so she told me that no, they didn't think about it. So I asked them. I asked her if did you think to give the cakes to the families of the injured soldiers in the hospitals? No, we didn't think about it. So I told her that the campaign, okay, succeeded. Okay, there is only hostages families. Okay, there's no almanot, widows. Okay, there are no widows and orphans and injured soldiers. Okay, but I think that we have to be together, and that's the reason that I'm wearing this pin. Okay, we are together.
I know we
Yes.
have finished, so I have one question about personal question.
Yes.
About the rest of the kids at home, because we also became like a public figure, and I was wondering about the rest of Eitan's siblings.
Yes. So we have a lot of help from the government. All my kids are under therapy and all this stuff. There are, of course, there are problems. They have nightmares. But Toda LaHashem that we had the understanding to put them in the schools, in the kindergarten. Our little girl was 4.5, okay, 4.5, and the other after Eitan was 22 student. So they all returned to their schools after 3 weeks. Okay, and I think that people ask me, מאיפה הכוח? I think that my power is from the emunah and from the shlichut. The emunah is that I'm here. I was born here, not here in Tel Aviv, but I was born to serve the Israeli nation. Okay, that's the meaning of my life. And sometimes it's very difficult. Okay, and you have isurim. Okay? Challenges. Yeah.
Difficult.
Yes.
Suffering.
But when I was born, I got תעודת לידה. Yes, and I didn't get another teuda that my life is going to be easy. So we're saying in the tefillah every day, 3 times a day, ve'al nishmotenu apekudot lach. Okay, we here in a charge, in a shlichut. Okay, and our shlichut is to make the Israeli nation strong and success, and of course tzaddik can to live according to the Torah. And I think that I have a zchut, okay, because of Eitan, okay, to sit here today in front of you, and I think that we are, my friends and I think that it's the first time that ostriches families are telling to the Israeli government, okay, to save their loved ones, okay, by not paying to the terror. Okay, I think that it's the first time. So we have the zchut to change. It's like
change the course.
כן, yes, כמו נושאת מטוסים ענקית, שאתה משנה את כל הכיוון שלה. כן? It's very difficult, but I think that even if the Israeli government will pay the Hamas, okay, חס וחלילה, everything what they want, okay, I think that it was important that the Israeli nation heard that words. I have something that only I have it, okay? Look, can you help me? Yes. Look, here, the price, okay? there is here 704 Israelis, okay, men, women, children, babies that were killed by the terrorists that were released on March. Okay, the terrorists that were released on March killed all these people.
Over the course of how long?
30 years. Okay?
Before they were in
30
prison,
years.
not after.
Yes, before October 7th. Okay? 704 Israelis. Okay? I think that we have to stop it. We have to stop it. Okay?